What it is, you guys, in the car again, it is, we're on the end of vlog, what was it? What was it just called? Vlogtober, my bad. Brain fart for real. We're on the end of Vlogtober. And now what's after Vlogtober? Vlogs giving. Yes. So I do have a few more Vlogtobers coming out because I recorded them and never edited them because I work my life away. I have to work, have to pay bills, like, unfortunately, but that's how life is. So I have not been able to actually be editing. So that's why you've just seen me literally like record, upload when I'm able to. So we're getting into vlogs giving. So you'll see some of those Vlogtober vlogs come out, but then we'll be just strictly like vlogs giving, and then regular little videos if I put them out or whatever. So tonight, I seen this on TikTok. Okay, so let me play this for you. Am I on TikTok or Instagram? Girl, I don't know. I think I'm on Instagram, but I think I'm her friend as well on TikTok. So this is someone called 4Lives Prison Wives. So it's 4Lives _ Prison Wives. This account right here. So I'm going to play this video. If it'll play, like, will it play? Why didn't it play again? Okay, let me restart it. Now, can y'all see that? Hey, not sure if you can. But okay, I'll just explain it. So it says that why are you waiting? That's when people ask you that question. I was about to say that crazy question. Okay, it says when you get asked how many years your man got, what the judge gave him. Like, girl, that question. And that does come up a lot. People want to know, okay, so he's in prison. First of all, I got to show you my little Dragon Ball Z shirt. Yes, my little baby. He loved Dragon Ball Z. Like, before he went to prison, I'm telling you, he was obsessed with that. And it reminds me of him. So that's why I have the T. I'll show you the back whenever, or you know what, I'll link in the description. I'll take a picture and link in the description a picture of the back of the shirt. But yeah, Dragon Ball Z reminds me of my baby. But anyway, to comment on that, like, girl, they love to ask you that question. Especially, I remember when I used to be at, okay, so most of the prison sentence that Marcello, he most time was off in them country backwoods in Florida. Florida has a bunch of country backwoods areas. Things, I've lived in Florida most of my whole goddamn life, and these be places I wouldn't even dream of, like where he's at now. Like, I've never freaking even heard of a Crest View. Like, that's crazy. Crest View, Florida. I've never heard of that crap. But that's where he is. And every time he's been somewhere, I've always literally had to Google, like, where the heck is this? One day he was at Mayo, Florida. I've never heard of a freaking Mayo. Like, where the heck? These are off the wall names of cities. So when you find out where your loved one at, you have no idea, because these are all backwoods places that you never freaking heard of. So there was one point in Marcello's prison sentence where he was actually in an area I've heard of. He was right close to home. He was in Lake County. And that became to where I was able to visit him every single weekend, which I thought that being up the road in the backcountry woods, all that time was over. But baby, it was something else in store for me, because he was headed back up the woods. But he stayed in this area for almost 8 years until some bogus stuff happened, and then they sent him out. shipped him back up north, which once they go back up north, it's so hard to get them back close to home. He has done nothing, but since he's went back up north, he has gotten further and further and further away from home, till now it feels like, baby, if they could put him out of Florida, they would. Like, he is on the edge of Florida, Georgia, Alabama, like far away from me, far away from home. And I don't know, but that's a depressing road. So I really, baby, we ain't gonna talk too much about that. But when he was close to home, you start going to visitation and you see some of the same faces. You start up conversations. Not really me, because like I'm the outcast. I'm the standoffish type. Like, baby, I'm not really the talkative, you know. I will talk eventually, and I'm picky and choosy because I like genuine people. And when you give off vibes like you kind of troublemaker, or, you know, you gossipy, that's really not my type of person to be around or whatever. So the prison wives would kind of start clicking up. It would be certain prison wives that would hang with certain prison wives. Like, it started being like prison wife circles and stuff. So I had a couple that I would kind of talk to or whatever like that. But I was never really the, you know, just the life of the freaking party. Now, this prison, baby, I've been to so many prisons, and it does not take that long to process nobody in. It ain't never took that freaking long. But for some reason, this place was closer, but it would take them 1,000,001 years to process you in. So you could easily wait 2 to 3 to 4 hours to get in to visit and miss half your visit, see them for like 1 or 2 hours, and then go home. Try it again tomorrow. You would have to camp out front of the prison off the road, because you cannot come up on the prison lot until a certain time. And then that was so dangerous, like for real. Just women mostly, backed up all along the side of the road, just sitting there waiting to go in and see their husbands, camping. Like, that's crazy as ever, but that's what we did. So once you get out and they give you the word that you could go up on the property, then it was times that, okay, you on the property, but you better not get out your car. Like, it was so. The rules go back and forth. They're wishy-washy. One guard, you get out the car and, oh, we're going to terminate your visit. We're terminating. Or the other guard, oh yeah, go ahead and get out. You could get in line and this and that. So you didn't know what to expect. It was always something team different, like every time you visited. So, and we would respect them more if they had universal rules, if they kind of treated us all the same. Like, if you were mean to everybody, then we probably could respect that. But then they're like mean to some, nice to others, let others slide with this, some can't slide. It's wishy-washy. This the rule today, the other guy don't do this rule, other guard don't do that rule, or the other guard does. You don't know what to do, what to listen to. And I'm sure that's how it is with our men inside there. If that's how it is for visitation, I'm sure it's not too different for them living in there. So we never knew what we could do or couldn't do. So once you get out and you can finally get out your car, like, it's a rush. You're running. You're like this, trying to get to the front of that line and get up to that gate. Girl, you got them heels on. You trying to put your heels on. You trying to get ready, get that little lip gloss on your mouth and stuff, that lotion on them little ashy knuckles, on them ashy ankles. Trying to put the little last minute powder on your face and get to that line. So you like this, I'm going to be first. But you know, okay, but this the thing though. You don't want to act like you freaking running. You really don't. Like, girl, he got you running like that? Yeah, girl, he got you running. Yeah, Marcello had me running. Running to try to be in that front of that line. But even the ones that be in the front of the line, it's still, you could literally at that facility could have been like second in line, and it still would have took you about 2 hours to get in. And it was because the guards were just basically playing over our time. This was our family time. They really didn't want us to visit like that. By it being close to town and a lot of people visit, they wanted to discourage visitation. And that's what that really was. But we weren't backing down. We were going to see our men every freaking visit visit that was open, we were going. So they would always play games to try to detour us, stop us, discourage us. They really did discourage us, but they did not stop us. So it was crazy. So I guess once you get up there, now it's a little platform. It's a little tiny pavilion thing that maybe 4 prison wives or families could sit under, and everybody else stood out in the elements or whatever. And Florida is hot. It's hot. Ain't no shade. You in that sun for your man. Like, for real. If you had that hair cute, girl, you done sweated that out. You done sweated off your makeup. It looked like somebody done put some face paint on you. Lip gloss all up here, but you tried. He could tell you tried, So when you get to the front, that's when a lot of people conversate and talk, and they're like, oh, okay, so what your man in here for? And oh, what your man, like, really, like, or mostly you don't really talk about the charges so much. What they mostly ask you is, oh, so how much time he got? Oh, my man got blah, blah, blah. Girl, how long you waiting? Oh, girl, my man, but I hated when that conversation came up. And I would overhear it like 1,000,001 times. They'd be like, girl, they gave my man 5 years, God. They gave him 5 years. Girl, do you know? 5 years? 5 years now. Girl, you could have went to college while he was in prison. And when you get out of college, he'll be getting out of prison. Like, goodbye. 5 years. Oh, they gave my man 2 years. And I'd be like, girl, do you know, I would wish my man had 10 years. 15 years. You crying over 2 years. Or, okay, here it is. How much more time does your man have left? Oh, girl, mine gets out the end of 2000 and blah, blah, which is next year, basically. Mine gets out the day after tomorrow. Or here's the other one. Oh, I only got about 3 more visits, and then my man comes home. And, girl, I'm happy for you. But, baby, my man comes home in 2042. Oh, with game time, he'll be home in 2039. Like, how cute does that sound? How cute does that sound? It's not cute. They would be like, I would get the most awkwardest. It was this one episode of, I remember American Idol. And this boy got up there and made a pure fool of himself. He was like, oh. You know, when you think that they can sing, but they can't sing. And then he looked at the judge and he was like, blank faces, like no reaction. That is exactly what I would get when I told them that, now I really didn't participate unless they really asked me. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, girl, if you ask me. Okay, so you don't have to tell the whole thing though. They could be like, so girl, how long you been a prison wife? Okay, at that time, I think it was 11 years, which that's still kind of embarrassing. Like, that's a long time, girl. Like, you really waiting that long? Like, for real? But, I'll be like, it's been 11 years. And they'll be like, oh my God, 11 years? Like, whoa. Okay, so when does he come home? Like, they're like, maybe, okay, 11 years is okay. But, like, if he's coming home soon, then it's okay. And I'm like, he has 40 years. And they're like, they don't even know what else to do. That jaw just drop their jaw. Girl, you gonna wait. Like, it's the looks that you get. And it would make me feel so crazy. I felt so crazy. Every time those conversations came up, I always was the one who had the longest time to wait. Everybody had a couple more years. They, and all these were doable times where, they're in prison, but they can get past that. There's plenty of time to move on with their lives afterwards. And I know many people say even just one day in prison is a lot, but I mean, you are blessed to ever be able to do a sentence with your man and he get out and y'all are good and y'all are together. Because baby, I wish on that, like I would wish for a lottery ticket to win, to hit. Like that's the chances of it happening for me. And I don't know, it just made me, it was a caught feeling, like it's a catch-22 feeling, because you don't want to feel sour about other people reaching that happiness you want, but you constantly focus back in on like, why isn't it me? Like, why my man got all this stuff? And then when you do start discussing charges, you find out that your man got some of the same charges that they man got, but your man got like the book thrown at him and he's getting out the day after tomorrow. Like, it's so crazy. It's kind of depressing. So, but people will ask that question all willy-nilly and stuff like that. Like, it's nothing. Let's conversate. I guess it's people more so that have short times that don't realize how hurtful that question really is to a person that is with someone that has life, or like Marcello has basically natural life. I mean, that's most of his life gone. And if you live that long, because lifespans ain't even that long, so it could be words I don't even want to say, so I ain't gonna say them. But it's too long to even plan for a future. You can't. It's ridiculous. And then back then, at that time, something became really popular on Facebook, because I had started finding comfort in Facebook groups that had prison wives, because I no longer felt alone and stuff like that. But the thing was, you no longer felt alone. You start hearing the same issues that every prison wife has, and it makes you feel comfortable, and you no longer feel like, hey, I'm crazy and I'm Looney Tune for being with somebody in prison. You know what I'm saying? Because none of your homegirls or your coworkers are really in that situation like that. And if they are, a lot of them are silent and you'll never know, because I have come across a couple prison wives that I wouldn't have even suspected were prison wives. But it was this thing where in the groups, people kept counting down, like making these countdown clocks for their loved ones. And, or in the group, it would always be, oh, my man, he's home. Like, it was always an announcement of someone coming home. It was always a countdown clock where they had maybe one more year or a couple months. And though I was so happy for them, it hurts. It really does, because it always makes you reflect on, wow, our situation is pretty much, it ain't zero hope, but it's like a 1.5% hope in our situation. And it just makes you reflect on that, like, so much. And for me, most of the way that I was able to get through this long, I have been a prison wife for 20 years. I am the legally, I ain't never introduced myself, girl. I'm Cadillac Dixon, the Draw My Life prison wife, the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice, hoping to see justice before it all fades to black. Yes, it's your girl Cadillac. But yeah, that's me. But the way that I would cope with most of this sentence is I would have to forget about that release date. I literally just think that, hey, I'm seeing him for now and that's it. I wouldn't think about, like, when he comes home, then this can happen and that can happen. And I think that's what got me going through it now, because somewhere along the line, because when he was in that close to home facility, I pretty much had accepted that. Now, I never thought he would go back up the road. I thought he was going to remain for the rest of his 40 years close to home. That is what I thought. And I thought that would be doable. I'm like, okay, so we're in a relationship, and the only way that we are going to be together, there are going to be bars between us. There are going to be separations, and I guess I was okay with that, because not okay with it, but hey, that's all I could do. That's the love of my life. If there's somebody that you love, if there was any way that you could be with them, you would be with them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I'm seeing him every week. The facility wasn't so like stick up they behind tight. Like they was all like a stick in they behind acting ridiculous. Like it was kind of laid back. But see, that was the thing. They didn't want it to be laid back. They wanted to be like Sergeant General Town or whatever. Like they wanted it to be like, hey, I'm gonna whip them into shape, and hey, inmate, what are you doing? That's how they wanted it. They wanted that strict, like up north type vibe there, and it was too laid back. It was, you know, it was kind of sweet, almost like they was on the street, but they was just, you know, in this little community or whatever, and that's what it felt like. But yeah, that's how I got through most of that sentence. And then it would be like when you did kind of get close to somebody that you would talk to, like prison wife, like related, like the little groups or whatever, you would get there, stand in line, and you chatted up with each other, or coming out of visitation, you're speaking to them and stuff. And every time you got that person that you felt like, oh, okay, she's cool, we clicking or whatever, my man gets out in 2 more visits. You're like, oh, congratulations. Like, you gotta congratulate them, girl. Congratulate them. Like, because they made it through. Like, they made it through. And you, girl, congratulations. But it's like, we're no longer like prison wife sisters. Like, you know how many prison wife sisters I've lost? Because, okay, and then it's awkward. Like after, okay, so y'all both prison wife sisters, right? Y'all cool, y'all understand each other and this. So it was always awkward for me. Like after her husband or whoever husband comes home, it is awkward for me to still talk to them about prison wife life. Give me a comment emoji or whatever if you can relate to that. If you've had a prison wife sister or a friend or whatever that you have conversated with, and y'all became like kind of close or whatever, homegirls, whatever. If y'all chilled outside of visitation, hung out, whatever, and her husband came home, like, how do you feel? Do you feel like, and it's not out of jealousy, it's just like, it's almost like you don't want to spew that back on them. You don't want to talk about your prison problems anymore with them, because now they're out of that. They got out of that fire. Like, so you don't want to bring them back to the fire. Like, it's already, a prison sentence is going to leave PTSD. It's going to leave you crazy. Like, it's going to leave damage, because that's the whole point. It leaves behind damage. And you don't want to keep going back and remembering back to that prison sentence, and or going through that sentence with him. So every time you see your friend whose husband is still, you know, she's still going through these crazy lockdowns, she's still going through these situations, she's still having these outbursts, which it was cool when y'all both were really, really, it was cool. What is going on?